Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CSGO Clutch Podcast, sponsored by Prize Picks. My name is Adam Cohn, I'm your host, joined by the returning Dan Welch. What's up, Dan?
Oh, not too much, Adam. Another wonderful day. Did pretty good today, so I'm happy.
And why did you do good today, Dan? I don't know.
Um,
And folks, I apologize for this, but I'm going to continue to give Dan a little bit of crap because someone was making lineups and someone on this podcast decided to shut some podcast off right as I was getting to my Blame F take.
yeah, it's very unfortunate because I ended up with config and that kind of hurt me. But Adam, I still did more than I did like 2.5x.
Hey, 2.5x, we'll take it.
Exactly.
I played Sprout.
Yeah.
I captained Favin. My main lineup was done pretty quick.
You got to take shots though. Like that's a good. I thought that was a really good shot.
Listen,
Since how they play.
I said this yesterday on the pod, and we'll get into the recap here in a second. I said this yesterday, like on that slate where there were so many guys that were over 9K that you wanted to play, I was taking stands. I thought G2 were going to, Nico and Hunter would be the ones that you would need. So I took a stand on Nico at 9,400.
Force your hand.
Right, like I needed to take a stand on somebody. So for leverage to get everyone else that I wanted Device. I tried getting up to Cadian. I had to make sure I got Hunter in there yesterday. And, for me, I thought that was the right move. Like, you had to take a stand. Now, if you wanted to use a little common sense, then you could have absolutely gone complexity. But, Dan, as we get in here to our lineup recap, you were saying in the main event DFS Discord earlier today, you were all of a mouse. Well, the winning lineup, solo takedown, 479.5 DK points. Solo, $5,000 takedown to OMG Lols. Had a 3-3 takedown. It was 3 complexity, captained by Blame F with Poison. We said Poison would be chalky. Pappy and Ty called that yesterday, I believe. And Rush, who I never play. Because Rush, more times than not, will not pay off his price tag. He will not score well. He's the support player. He just is there for the team. That way, they're Blame F and JKS and Poison and Config, they all feed. But in this matchup, Rush went 33, 5, and 22. He was plus 11 with a 1v2 clutch. Okay, that got 64.5 DK points. You needed that on that performance to win this slate. And at 3.3%, absolutely. You'll take that all day, every day.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it was 3 Mouse Sports that took it down over G2. And Mouse swept them 2-0. We are looking at a different Mouse Sports team. I didn't watch any of that game. I may have to go back and watch a little bit of that. But to sweep them, I mean, obviously it was closer with only 35 rounds not played, so it was closer. But still, Rops, Frozen. I talked about Frozen yesterday. I talked about Frozen is the ceiling guy. Rops is great. Frozen outscored Rops, not by much, by 4 points. But
Frozen looked good.
Yeah, Frozen is starting to come into form. And I think the analyst someone made a point on this, was the analyst of the casters mentioned that now that Dexter's been with this team for a couple months, Dexter's integrating how he wants the team to play. The team are now fitting in the roles more better, and it's becoming more seamless. So now you're seeing Frozen pick it up. Rops is always good to do great. BMAS, 42-7-37 with the 1v3 clutch and 2 4Ks. 66 DK points at $5,800 at 6.5% ownership. Like, this was great, but again, 3 threes. You don't see them typically take down a 3-game slate. But with how these 2 games went, because both of them were sweeps, and how Complexity just crushed Sprout, this is viable. And it's more than viable. It won. I have no problem with this winning lineup. Like, there's nothing There's nothing I would do different. I
You know what happened in the last game? Everything just got the points are just so spread out. Like everyone had like between 60 and 7, just
Device
75
and Res
points.
were the only positive scorers that I think were double digit in the entire game. I think
Yeah.
if I looked at that right, we can go back to the results real
But
quick because this is going to be a
no, I
quick.
mean like Stown had 65, Shush had 60, Tess's had like 55. Like it was
Right,
just
so like
everything
here's
was.
Shush 56 58 minus 2. Stown 66 65. That's still a really good stat line. He was minus 3. I mean, like he had 82.6 ADR. Testis was 61.59. He was plus 2. But at 9,000, that wasn't getting you there. Cadian plus 3 was 10,000. And Refresh just did what he did. He was minus 10, but
Mm.
Device was plus 10, and Rez was plus 11. Like, those are the ones you needed.
Yeah, and
So,
Device actually only outscored Stown by like 4 points, believe it or not, because
yeah.
Stown had 22 assists.
I mean,
22.
like, just like look at the maps. 16 to 10 on Nuke for Heroic, double overtime on Overpass, and then a 16 to 8 trouncing on Mirage. Like,
Mm.
it's fine. Like, I'm not worried about Heroic. They're going to have an insane amount of RMR points, adding on to their already other ones that they already have, and they're already in the number 3 in the world ranking. Would I as a Heroic fan like to see them win the whole thing? Of course. Fourth place with 1,300 RMR points, I'll gladly take it. Excuse me. Let's review Flashpoint 3 real quick. Mouse Sports 2-0 Fnatic, 2-0 Big, 2-0 Astralis, 2-0 G2. They haven't lost a map in Flashpoint. This Mouse Sports
Yeah,
team can be
five out of
top
six.
5 in the world.
Yeah, and 5 out of 6 announcers or analysts and callers were on G2.
How
Five
can
out
you
of
not?
six.
G2's looked better. But in Mouse Sports, again, Fnatic, they're not doing good right now. Bigger up and down. 2-0 Astralis was impressive, going up against a G2 team that beat the likes of FaZe, Heroic, and Nip to get to where they are. Sure, G2 showed more grit. Mousesports had some little bit not easier, but like Big ain't no pushover. Astralis definitely ain't no pushover. But they haven't lost a map in Flashpoint yet. Now Mousesports are here in the grand final, waiting for the winner
Mm-hmm.
of, G2 and Nip.
Uh, yeah, G2, which we know is going to be Nip.
Here we go. We will get there on the slate, sir. I think it go either way. I think it's Nip. I can easily see G2 and I can see a rematch. Um,
That would be
but
too
like
perfect.
this is pretty interesting. Like congrats to Mouse Sports. But like
It's going to be Nip.
here's what we have. We also got we have a couple other things going on here. We have Vitality versus Double Pony on the slate. That's the
Oh, yeah.
seventh place decider match.
Yeah.
One of them is gonna get 1,000 RMR points, and one of them is gonna get 900. Of these two teams, who do you think really needs the extra 100?
Uh, Vitality.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good question, though. That was funny.
I was like being sarcastic, but you got it. So like,
No, I know, I know.
here Heroic, already the third ranked team in the world, getting 1,300 more RMR points.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm not worried about them, and they won Pro League. They've already secured a spot in the Blast Premier World Final. Not concerned about. Ooh, I like
I don't
these
think
gloves.
I don't think it matters. I think and I'm kind of
Ooh,
going off on a tangent,
sorry, I
but
like these gloves.
he says now you're going on. I'm talking about going on tangents, and you're going on a tangent,
I'm sorry, were you saying
Adam.
something?
Yeah, no one's beating Gambit. I'm like hands down, Gambit is number one. I'm sorry, there's like no one can compete. I'm totally convinced.
All right, well,
Um,
folks, again, like I said, this is going to be somewhat of a quicker slate, so let's take a look at it. Here's the
yeah,
Epic League CIS
there we go.
RMR event. So
Akuma is not beating Gambit. As great as Akuma has been, and their run is about to come to
Akuma
an
has
end.
2-0 Navi and 2-0 Virtus Pro.
Is good, but they're not.
DraftKings, we need some Epic League slates for Saturday, please.
Please,
I
it's like,
want
come
to
on,
play
man.
all the Akuma.
Really?
Yes. I want to play
Huh.
all the Akuma.
Okay. Well, actually, I take that back. I should say, really?
Look, here's the deal with Akuma.
That's a good play.
They are
That's a good.
in a perfect position to gain a massive amount of RMR points. They're going to end up being a top 4 team. So they're guaranteed, most likely, a minimum of 1,300. I don't see them going anywhere else. Like if they lose, they go here. It's still Gambit versus in the grand final. So 1, 2, 3. So they could probably looks like top 3. So they're
Could end
guaranteed
up in the grand final.
1,400 RMR points for this team. That says a lot. If Perfecto don't start changing things up, knock knock
Mm,
on the door, Sensei, come over to Navi.
yeah.
I mean, this is gonna be a good match. Like, I will try making time to watch this. I want to see what this Akuma team is made out of. Like, are they really this good, or are Navi and Virtus Pro, we've seen them, slip up before? Or is this team just really that good? We will see. Over,
Well, it's
Dan,
the
now,
former crazy team.
yeah, it is a former crazy team. You mentioned that earlier, offline,
Yeah.
pre-pod and everything. So, here we go, folks. So this is the CS Summit 8. So this is the North America Armor event.
Good
So,
old North America.
Bad News Bears and Evil Geniuses take home 950 RMR points each. That's a lot. Keeps things with EG interesting.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But we have tonight, well, when we're recording this tonight, we have Pain Solo play Oplano, and currently in progress, Extra Salt versus Extremum. This doesn't look like it's taking much longer. It was a little tight there in the map too. I was watching that a little bit earlier, just
Yeah,
following
went
along
to
on
overtime.
HLTV. So we have Furia versus Liquid. We know this is gonna be a banger.
Hope so.
So like you would expect these two teams to come out. It's can we see Oplano get to third? Can we see this team maybe knock off a Fury or a Liquid here in the consolidation final and get to a grand final? Right, like that's a team that needs every single RMR point they can get. So like when we talk next week, we're gonna have a completely reshuffled world ranking because all these RMR points are gonna hit.
Good point.
Because currently, here's the world rankings. Gambit has 981 points. Navi 829, Heroic 746, G2 is 611. Australis at 556. This is going to shake up the entire world ranking.
Yep.
Now again, this is world ranking on HLTV by points. If I had to rank a world, actually do rankings, Gambit's 1, Heroic's 2, Navi's 3. You can argue 4. Maybe you stick with G2 4 right now because of how they looked. How good Mouse Sports has looked. That put them in the top 10. You could argue Astralis, keep them at 5. It's very interesting, but everything here is going to shake up most likely come Monday when the new rankings get posted. Fnatic's probably may be out of the top 20 or the top 30, which would be something. FaZe may be out because they both got bounced early. OG may get bounced. They don't have many points. This will be really interesting to see. It'll be really, really interesting to see. And you can see how the rankings are calculated down here. These not necessarily RMR points according to what this says, but I definitely think the RMR points and who wins and who was lost, I think that's going to come into, that's going to say a lot for this team or for these rankings. Like Nip should make the top 10 with their run. We're going to see Liquid in the top 10. Heroic should be still top 3. But we're going to see Mouse Sports jump into the top 10 most likely. We're going to see, FPX should be making a serious case for top 15. Right? It'll be really interesting, Dan. Really,
Mm-hmm.
really interesting. But I got
Yeah,
nothing
we're
else to
entering a.
say, and I have nothing else to go over here in regards to the winning lineup and giving a chance to recap the RMR events that have gone on so far. Anything else you want to say before we get into the main slate?
No, I'm happy to continue on.
Excellent. Well, folks, before we get here into this main slate, you know what time it is. Time to hit that like button, folks. We've had, north of 30 viewers each in these last couple of videos, and we really, really greatly appreciate it. Dan and I were not expecting this when we started the podcast. Right, Dan?
No, absolutely not. This is incredible.
I think you and I were happy to get like 10 viewers and like maybe a couple of subs.
I
Like,
had I did not realize it was gonna build this quickly.
yeah, like we are so grateful and appreciative to all the listeners and subscribers out there. Please hit that like button, folks. I think we got to 8, if I'm not mistaken, on that last one.
Yeah, yeah, 8. That's when I started listening tonight. There was 8.
Yeah, after you didn't hear my blame F take.
I know. I'm
Anyway,
sorry.
I'm done giving you grief or crap for that. But folks, let's see if we can get to 15 likes on this video. Like I said, we've had north of 30 viewers for the last couple of videos, and like I said, Dan and I really appreciate it. It really helps the
Please.
YouTube algorithm out. And I'm gonna try again. Hit that subscribe button, folks, and then the notification bell that goes next to it. Not only does the subscribe button help, but it gets you easier access to the podcast. And by hitting the notification bell, y'all get notified every single time one of these podcasts drop. And we've seen some of these slates there and start at 6 a.m. So,
Yeah,
like there were slates that start at like 6 a.m. So you want to make sure you get as much information you can as possible. And Dan and I are going to try providing you our takes and to help you all make better lineups. And hopefully you all are just out there crushing and winning lots and lots of money. And don't forget to leave a comment below. Interact with us. Tell us what kind of plays you all like, what you like about the podcast, what maybe you'd like to see added. Yeah, and give us some feedback below in the comment section. So,
please.
Dan, we have one.
Adam,
We do have a sponsor for the podcast, don't we?
you do.
We are sponsored
Prize
by.
picks.
That's right. We are sponsored by Prize Picks. Use the promo code Clutch, folks. That promo code again is Clutch. New depositors will get a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. They are, in my opinion, the future of the DFS industry because we are seeing sports betting getting a lot more traction. And Prize Picks is, well, you're playing against the line. It's over or under. You're not playing against Awesemo. As awesome as Awesemo is, no pun intended. You know, he's a great dude. You're not playing against some of these other sharks out there, right? Like, you're playing against the line. You're allowed to put whatever you want on these things. If you think someone's smashing an over, play the over. If you think someone's going under, play the under. Like, they're awesome over there. Again, use the promo code CLUTCH. New depositors get a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Alrighty, sir. Let's get into this 2-game slate because there really isn't much to discuss here, in my opinion. Though knowing you and I, it's going to end up being another 10-hour podcast. No, I'm totally kidding. First game on the slate, Dan, is Team Vitality versus Double Pony. Oh, look, it's like deja vu. Didn't we just see this?
It's not happening again, though.
No, it's not happening again. Team Vitality looked different. Apex is calling better. Uh, I still think Kyojin looks like he's struggling. Doesn't he?
Well,
Like,
he is.
he looks like he struggles at times.
Yeah, he. I mean, we saw it on Nuke on the A site. I mean, that's like the obvious. But then I've also heard the announcers kind of allude to, in general, him having a hard time. Like maybe not looking in the checking the right lines and kind of getting blindsided way too often. So
Well, again, I mean, you think about it,
some
right?
in-game
Like,
awareness that's lacking.
this isn't like when I go out and play Counter Strike, or when you go out and play Counter Strike, right? Like, we're going out, we're having fun, we're trying to figure things out, but like, we're not practicing 8 to 14 hours a day like some of these teams are, right?
Right.
Like, that's not what we do. But if you think about it, Kyojin not exactly been on the tier 1 scene. Didn't hear him in tier 2. I don't even know if he was considered in tier 3. We never heard of him before. So they
Right.
picked him up, and you're being asked to go compete with the best teams in the world. That's a learning curve. And he's being asked not to just go out there and be like a lurker and just go play for picks. He's being asked to anchor. He's being asked to replace RPK. Kyojin, go anchor the site. Okay. That's asking a lot of a player. It really, really is. And I
Yeah.
mean, like, he can do well, but for DFS purposes, full fade.
Yeah. It's not even worth the 5,200 or whatever he is.
No, it's not. But you know what's under $10,000?
Zywoo?
Zywee.
Zywee? I'm playing him.
Zywee
I'm
is under
captaining him.
10,000. I am by $200, but still. And so Zywoo's 9,800. And he's going to be the biggest thing you need to figure out on this slate. Because, Dan, if we take a look at overall pricing, okay, you're going to have to make a decision. Zywoo is 9,800, Nico 9,400, and Device is 9,200. We'll get to the second game on the slate. The only leverage on this slate is playing double pony. It's the only leverage.
Yeah. Yeah, because the other game's going to be pretty much split.
I would agree with that. I don't even know how ownership is going to be split. But I'd probably say the good players are going to be north of 30% plus each. There's no leverage in that game. Your leverage in large field GPPs is playing a double pony, or playing a Kyojin, playing a Masuda, captaining a Masuda, captaining a Shocks, maybe captaining an Apex.
Apex.
Like, you have to get different. Zywoo is probably going to be north of 60+% owned, even at 9,800. Because if I were to go, okay, I want Zywoo, Apex, Masuda, I still get 9,200 left to player. Let's just say I want to go Captain Nico. Okay, I get 6,750. Super. That's going to get me Amanek. That's going to get me Nexa. Stud. Great IGL, good fragger, Opper. This is viable. Like, you have to figure out ways to get different. And the ways to get different here is by playing double pony. Do you have any interest in playing double pony on this late, Dan?
Nope. I think they're going to get stomped. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how. I think it's just a gut feeling, but I think their run is over.
I would agree.
Their little pony run.
I think this is a slate, again, you need to take a stand on. Because you're going to have to take a stand on Nip or G2. Pretty much. Like, if you're going 3-3, which is what I would recommend, I'd absolutely recommend a 3-3. I wouldn't mind a 3-2-1. Get creative with your 3-2-1. You have to find ways to be unique. There's only a pool of 20 players. Okay? 19 if you take out Kyojin.
18 if you take out NBK too.
NBK is viable on this slate. Let me get to my double point take in a second. I have no disrespect to Kyojin. From a pure DFS standpoint, I can't do it. To take a line from my boy Michael Cavalunas. Can't do it. By the way, shout out to the Cutline Golf podcast that he does. Outstanding work. And free plug, cutlinegolf.com. He's an incredible person. His projection models are on point. All of his stuff is absolutely on point, and he's got great learning for DFS stuff. Just check out cutlinegolf.com and the Cutline podcast. Anyway, but he has a segment on the podcast where it's can't do it. Okay, Kyojin, I can't do it! And that his premise is it's players that'll be high owned that he's going to fade to because they're going to be too high owned. I understand the premise of it, right? Like, if you listen to it, like, let's say, and I'll have to put golf in this example real quick. Rory McIlroy is going to be 20+% owned, and you want to fade him for leverage or doesn't have good stats. You don't want to play it too high owned. Fine, can't do it. Understand. But to use his frame here, like, Kyojin's going to be unowned. Kyojin has done nothing in his recent gameplay to inspire at anything in confidence that he is going to crush double pony. Okay? Let's take a look at Kyojin's last 5 games on DraftKings.
Okay.
19 points, 18 points, 53 points. Okay, I'm okay at 53 points. 35 points, 19 points. The last time they played double pony when Team Vitality got their butts kicked, Kyojin was 16-3 and 33.
Jeez.
It was
Yeah,
his worst fragging performance in his last 5 games.
that was the ugly nuke.
That was
performance.
that was not pretty.
Yeah, and then that just made everybody else crumble.
Yeah.
But it's not happening again. I'm telling you right now, that is not going to happen again. I mean, I'm not saying play Kyojin, just that
Right, but
it's not going to be that bad.
I can't play Kyojin yet. I can't do it.
No, definitely not.
I mean, if I'm trying to take down a large field GPP and his ceiling is 53 points, this is a mistake. He didn't have 5 aces.
No.
But
No, he didn't. Wait, that's still in there? Because
yeah,
remember they had the scores all screwed up, but they kept it in there?
that's crazy. But other than the 53 points against OG, where he was still -1 in frags, he had 47 DK points versus Big back in DreamHack. And he was 29, 12, and 36. He got the extra points on the assists.
Yeah.
This is not someone that screams the ceiling to me right now. So,
no.
I don't mean we're taking much time on Kyojin, but people are out there probably going to go, do we play Kyojin on a 2-game slate? You can. Please don't go north of 15% in an MME. You go 15%, you're probably 3x the field. He'll probably come in at 5% owned on this slate. Because if you watch the games and you see his performance, he's still adapting to tier 1 Counter-Strike. And it's totally okay. But I need leverage. I might end up playing double pony. No, I'm not playing the Joko.
No? Why not?
Because that was a fluke.
Yeah, okay.
Here's the Joko stats since Team Vitality. 21 points, 32 points. Okay, respectable 63 points against Big. I think for me, Afro 1, Body 2, Lucky 3, the Joko 4, and NBK 5. But NBK at $4,200 is completely viable on the slate. I mean, it's not like NBK's been terrible. 44 DK points. I mean, that was with Heroic. Not Heroic. Team wherever he was last. OG, my bad. Was it with OG? I don't know. Whatever. Versus Team Vitality. 73 DK points. 52, 35, 47. I'll gladly take 52 points out of NBK at $4,200. Are you kidding me?
Oh, hell yeah.
If it gets me 3 of the top guys and that's how my stacks work, if I decide to go Nico Hunter and run back to Vice, I'm okay with that. But again,
I'm changing my lineups.
I would advocate double ponying for large field GPPs only, not single entry.
Yeah.
But so again, my opinion, Team Vitality should win. Dan, you agree? Because you've been pretty much touting Team Vitality on this podcast today.
Yeah, I have no doubts that they will bounce back from that.
All right, so let's rank our Team Vitality for everyone else then, because on a 2-game slate, let's see where our heads are at. I think it's pretty safe to say ZywOo 1 for both of us, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Apex for me is 2.
Yep.
Shocks 3.
Yep.
Masuda 4. Kyojin 5.
Yeah.
I mean, now you can make the argument if you want, Masuda 3, Shocks 4. That gets you different because that gets you more ownership on Masuda, who's probably going to come in, if I had to guess, around 20%. Maybe 15 to 20%. and people will just load up more on Zywoo and Shocks and Nip and G2, right? Maybe they'll run one back with Double Pony, or just do crazy run backs with Nip and G2. I don't mind going like 30% to 40% Masuda in a large field GPP and a 20 max and above. I'm totally okay with that. That gets you very different, and it'll make a lot more of your lineups more unique. Would you agree? Or are you just off
Mm-hmm.
Masuda completely?
I agree 100%.
Excellent.
What? Excellent. What? Hello?
Hi, I'm here.
Oh, sorry.
The
I
listeners
thought
are
you
here.
lost. Okay, good. Hi, listeners.
What's up,
Yeah.
live
No, I'm
studio audience? Oh, no, I'm kidding. That was live studio audience.
no, I'm pretty much sold on the Zywoo Apex Shocks mixture.
Yeah, I mean, I might prefer to go Zywoo, Apex, Masuda in a large field GPP, just to try getting off some of the Shocks exposure and a little bit more on a Masuda, and hopefully he
Interesting.
does well. So, all right, so that was breaking down Team Vitality and Double Pony. All four teams are in play for a large field GPP. Double Pony's the leverage, and if we take a look at the Pinnacle sports betting odds, we go over here to leagues, we go over here to Flashpoint, and then we take a look at the standings. Only one game is out right now, and that is Team Vitality versus Double Pony. There's no odds out right now, it looks like, for Nip versus G2. Again, that one just finished. Probably a couple hours ago. So,
Yeah.
Team Vitality are minus 175 favorite. Double Pony minus 143 favorite. So, Pinnacle, giving them, whoever's creating these money lines, they're getting respect. Double Pony ain't just being like no pushover. They're getting a little bit of respect based on that last game. So I think it's very interesting to see here. Let's actually refresh the page. See if we can... No, so it's not up yet. That's fine. So, Dan, let's get into it because this is a game where... Is there anything else you're talking about in Team Vitality and Double Pony?
Nope.
Alright, last game on the slate is the Ninjas in Pajamas, Nip versus G2. I'm not going to sound like a complete cop-out when I say this. And I apologize in advance. All 10 players from Nip and G2, with maybe the exception of Jackson ZTR, are firmly in play on this slate.
I disagree. Jax is in play. 5,000.
Well, I mean, like, right, but like at that point, and ZTR at 4,400, they're price plays.
Yeah.
Again, that's why I said all 10 players are in play from this game, with maybe the exception of Jackson ZTR. But this is a
Kenny
game,
has a knock.
folks, where Dan and I are going to give you our opinions, but this is a game you absolutely have to take a stand on. This
Gotta
is
get it
going to
right.
be one of the closest, most tight competitive games that we have seen in Flashpoint 3 this far. Because I think that's how even these two teams are.
Mm-hmm. And what's at stake?
Agreed. This is the lower bracket final. Well, the consolidation final. One of
Mm-hmm.
these teams is moving on to the grand final on Sunday. One of these teams are going to have a shot for extra RMR points. And both of them need it. Because we now have Nip with device. So Nip need the points because they're replacing a player. And G2 have been all over the place recently. This is their chance to say, I want my rematch at Mouse Sports. We're the better team. We've looked like the better team. Let's go out there and let's win. So the interesting thing for this day, and this is why I want to spend a little bit of time. I don't typically talk about maps. You know this. How
Mm-hmm.
this is going to play out tomorrow, I think is going to be extremely interesting. G2 permabans overpass. Nip permabans vertigo. So let's take that out of the way with. You're taking away, G2's taking away Nip's best map. Nip's taking away one of G2's best maps. I think we see G2 pick Inferno. Nip, I think we see them They could get. I mean, they just played Train today, didn't they? No, they played it versus
No, they ended
Big,
on Mirage. Yeah.
and Nip won. So Nip have a 100% 100% win rate right now, but that was close. It was 16 to 14. So and this little tiny thing here is over the past 3 months with the core with 3 maps played. Okay, so minimum of 3 maps played. They only have 2 on Train. They could go cheeky and say, "I'll beat you on Train." I don't think we see that. I don't think Nip would be crazy enough to pick into Mirage. I just don't see that happening. Do you?
They did pretty good on it today. I mean,
This is the
they
map that G2
crushed.
picks the most, and that's Mirage.
Yeah, they probably want to pick into it, right? I mean,
Well, like, I think G2's picking Inferno, but they could pick Mirage. I think G2 would be better off served picking into Inferno, so Nip don't ban it.
okay,
I
good point.
think we could see Nip pick Dust too. I mean, I think it's really interesting. Again, G2 are taking away Nip's somewhat go-to map.
Yeah,
So with that being
yeah,
said,
it's got me a little worried, this map pool for Nip. I
yeah,
mean, it doesn't look too good on paper.
nope. So what do you think then? I mean, do we see Nip ban Train and pick Vertigo? This team hasn't played it with Device. We know Device has played Vertigo with Astralis. Do they get the vote of confidence from Device and go, let's play Vertigo? I got this. I don't think the other four would be comfortable on it. I mean, like, these win rates, G2's permaban takes away Nip's best win rate map. And the reason, folks, that we're talking about maps so much is because look at this from a DFS, excuse me, a DFS standpoint. G2 are have the higher win rate on every map except for Overpass, which it doesn't matter because G2 permabans it. G2 have the map advantage on every map. So what Dan and I are trying to figure out is how can Nip get a map advantage?
They can't. It really is. I mean, on paper they can't. Anyway.
Right. So like we could see Nip pick Dust 2. Both of these teams struggle on Dust 2. And we know Device comes from Astralis, where Dust 2 is one of Astralis' better maps. So like that could cause problems for G2. So we could see that like
I could see
the
Nip picking Train, to be honest with you.
right like that's not a crazy idea. Like that's what I was saying earlier. It's not a crazy idea. So, however, going back to the slate, what are you doing with this game? Have you decided which way you want to take a stand yet?
I was leaning Nip, but now after that little analysis, I think I'm leaning G2. I mean, we're talking about, um, does it come down to individual skill? And if that's the case, then G2's got it covered. Because too much relies on Device and Res to really come through. And
Yeah,
on
I
the,
I
on the,
I don't know what's up with Plopsky, man. I,
yeah,
I don't know what's up with him. This is a guy that was the ace of this team last year. I don't know what happened to him.
could be a good spot to play him.
Good.
I if they do well, he's probably gonna have to play his ass off.
Look,
Um,
Plopsky ceiling day. It's a thing. I apologize, folks, if I sound like I'm sniffling, if I have a deep voice. I got allergies. I got to feel the congestion from the allergies. But anyway, it's all good. Um, I think Plopsky's good. All right, so let's do this. Let's rank G2 for me in order. Nico, Hunter, Almanac, Nexa, Jax in that order.
yeah, I agree 100%.
Okay.
It's like
How are you
exactly how they're
ranking
placed.
Nip? You go first.
Device Res, Hampus, ZTR because of price.
And Plopsky
Wait,
fifth.
who? Yeah. Well, yeah.
I agree with the
Popsy's been so
first
bad.
three. I agree Device 1, Res 2, Hampus 3. I'd go Plopsky 4 with the caveat of saying Plopsky could break the slate and ZTR 5th.
The upside for Popsky is a little bit higher for
The
sure.
upside for Plopsky is 70 frags
Yeah.
plus. So,
I want to play him just because I feel like that's like the best way to be different. If I'm gonna play with, if I'm gonna go with Nip.
yeah. Well, there you go, folks. We're gonna get into our core value, GPP, and teams favorite team stack segment here. Dan, take it away.
Adam. Core, I'm gonna go with Apex.
I
No,
like
no.
it.
Okay.
I like it.
Well, because Apex, I was gonna take it back because Apex could totally be a value play. He's only six
I don't
thousand.
care. I like the call.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Core value is gonna be Hampus,
All right, so
5,400, and
Hampus is
then
only $5,400.
yeah,
Did
and then GP.
did I totally miss that? Oh boy, he's $5,400. Okay, yeah, he's definitely a value.
Yeah, the Nip's getting the discount except for device.
Yep,
And then GPP will be Plopsky.
I like it.
Yeah.
Favorite team stack if you have one.
Team Sack's gonna be Vitality.
I like it. All right, core player for me, Zywo. I know, big shocker. I was actually thinking Apex, so Dan took it. So I'm fine with
Yeah,
Zywo and Apex. I like that.
yeah,
Value
perfect.
play. I really like the Hampus call. I really like that call. Um, Apex is definitely a value. I think I'll go with Body at 5,600 as a value. You could also add an Afro if you really wanted to at 6,400. We know this guy has a high ceiling.
Dude, Afro's good. I
Yeah.
was watching.
So like
He's got some
he
moves.
definitely has the stats, dude. Like I mean he has ceiling and he has games like 72 DK points against Team Vitality, 39 against Astralis, 94 against Anonymous, 46 against Big. Like up and down, but we know he has the ceiling.
He's passed my eye test too. I watched whoever
Hey,
they played last, and I was very impressed.
what happened? Draftkings! Why?
What happened? I didn't even see what happened.
It bounced me out.
Huh,
Sorry,
weird.
folks. I hit the back button on my mouse. Um, that's my bad. GPP players Hunter.
Okay.
Favorite team stack? I don't have one. Favorite team stack for large field GPPs though? Double pony. Two
Yeah.
a two-man stack from double pony. Maybe three. Like if you wanted to do a double pony stack with a Zywoo one back, I'm okay with that. If you want to do a two double pony and then a 3-1 from the second game, I'm okay with that. That's different. Not normally optimal, but I don't mind that. But yeah, 2 to 3 from double pony, large field GPP stack. All right, folks. Prize pick time. Prize pick time. All right, sir. I mean, look at all the sports we have. We got disc golf going on up here on Prize Picks. Shout out Stevie T PFL. Shout out to the disc
What is
golf love.
Xfinity?
NASCAR. So we got
Oh,
trucks, Xfinity, NASCAR. So
no
truck
shit.
series, Xfinity series, NASCAR. This is the Cup series. So, all right, we have 12 plays currently to choose from as of the recording of this podcast. Always check back on Prize Picks. They'll be adding in more and more content throughout the day and throughout tonight and throughout the day tomorrow. Dan, pick two.
Aerial under and Thomas over.
All right, for me, Forest under, Ariel under.
All right, so we're in agreement.
We are. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the CSGO Clutch podcast. And don't forget to check us out on Twitter at CSGO Clutch Pod, and you can reach out to Dan on Twitter at Wandelch, WANDELCH. And you can follow me on Twitter at AdamWX21. Dan and I wish you all good luck on this slate. Latest, peoples.